Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Marian, and in today's video I just wanted to have a girl talk and just talk about a few things that I wish I would have done differently and advice that I would have given my younger self. There were many mistakes made and many lessons learned, but it just would have been nice to have that older sister or that older woman for a role model that was intelligent enough to give some good advice. And so we have learned a lot from then till now. So these are just some of the things that I would have told myself, or if I was the older sister to my younger self. It's just nice sometimes to be able to have some advice from someone who has already been through it, and just to help us avoid any unnecessary mistakes. But nonetheless, we are here, we survived our younger years, and we are much more experienced now. And while looking back, there would be some things that I would have changed or just completely done differently. So if I could give my younger self some advice, I would start off by saying to take care of yourself. I would tell her to love herself more and take care of herself more. Do a little bit more to stay healthier, not just for the looks, to look a certain way, but to just be healthier and maintain good health and not be overly stressed. I used to stress over every little thing, and don't get me wrong, I still do. I still stress about little things that I sometimes catch myself telling myself not to stress over those kind of things because it's just so unnecessary. Stress literally does nothing but just cause you harm. And if I could have told myself to worry less and do the best I could to avoid being so stressed for a long period of time. I know that sometimes that can get difficult. We tend to get stressed over little things and we just dwell on that, and it just consumes us completely. But literally nothing good comes out of that. So if I could just go back and do things to help myself cope with the stress and to try to not dwell on that so much for a long period of time, it would have saved me so much trouble. I literally went through so much, and all because of stress. If I could have known that, my life would have been so much different back then, but now we know. So another thing I would tell her is to get enough sleep. I used to go to sleep for like 4 or 5 hours sometimes, really bad, I know. And back then I thought it was okay, like all I needed was 4 to 5 hours of sleep and I was good. Yeah, not so much right now. I could not go a day with just 4 hours of sleep. That's a complete no. I could not do that now. But I would definitely tell her to get more sleep. Literally, it's the best thing you could do for yourself, for your body, is to try to get your 8 hours of sleep at least a day. And it just would save you so much trouble as well, because if your body is not rested, you can't focus, you can't function properly, and it really does affect you in the long run. I would have also told her to connect more spiritually, to just try to find ways and connections to be more grounded and more spiritual, because when you are connected to God or to the universe, whatever it is that you believe in, you just feel so much better, and it really is going to just implement a lot of good things in your life, and it really is going to show you the right way, and you are just going to feel like you are much more put together, and it just really connects you in all kinds of ways in all areas of your life. Not only that, but it's also going to help you deal with stress and learn how to manage it, and it really is going to give you a sense of peace and purpose. If I would have known this alone would have changed my life, and I would have been much more forgiving with myself. Another thing that I would have told my younger self is a little bit more about friendships. I would have told her to be more cautious and careful with the type of friends that you invite into your circle and what you say, because sometimes we tend to overshare things that we shouldn't, and to also pay attention to the red flags. We usually tend to see and spot for the red flags in men, and we really avoid or fail to see the red flags in friendships as well. That is also an important thing that we should be looking out for, because there's really not good friends out there. Sometimes they pretend to be somebody that they are not, and you are the one that ends up getting hurt at the end. And just try to keep yourself a little bit more private. Sometimes we really do confine so much in our friendships that we think are super close to us, but you just never know. Honestly, we sometimes trust a person so much and we fail to acknowledge that we're human and some people just don't have the good intentions. So just try to keep yourself a little bit more private is something that I would have told myself, and not be oversharing things that really are meant to be private and handled by yourself, because you really don't know the intentions of others. I learned that some people who you never thought would betray you do. There are just some people out there who all they want to see is see you fail. And here we are telling them all of our business. So that's something that I would have been very careful and really just taken the time to keep certain things to myself. Also, in relationships, don't ever try to change a man. A man will never change depending on what you tell him, how you tell him. If a man wants to change, he's going to change because of him. It will never be because of you. It's always going to be because of him. That's the only thing that will make him change, is him really wanting to, nothing else. He will change when he wants to and when he's ready. Just don't spend your time trying to change him or do certain things to try to make him realize certain things for him to change, because it's just not going to happen. He's going to do it at his own time. All you need to know is that you are a very valuable and worthy woman, so don't be wasting your time on a man that doesn't see that. And never spend time on a man that doesn't put any effort. Another thing that I would tell her is not to fear being left behind. It's easy to compare yourself to other people's timelines and to see how far they have gotten and how far you wanted to be at a certain point in your life, but we need to understand that everybody has different timelines, and sometimes we plan for something and it just doesn't happen that way, and there's only one reason that would happen, and that's because God has better plans for us, and we need to understand that God's plans are perfect and his timing is perfect, and we just need to really focus on where we are going and not worry about where other people are in their lives. Sometimes what I wished I would have had sooner made me realize over time that if I would have had it during that time, I would not have learned what I know now, or the lessons that would have prepared me for what I really wanted, and I wouldn't have had the greater opportunities that I have now. So everything works out perfectly in the end, and there is no reason to stress. I would also tell her, allow yourself to stand out. And what I mean by this is allow yourself to express yourself the way that you want without worrying about others' opinions. Don't let that weigh you down. I used to take other people's opinions to heart. For example, if I wanted to make a decision on something, I would ask them, what do you think of this? Or do you think I should get this? And I would really let their opinion influence my decisions without really taking into consideration what I really wanted. But I came to realize that others' opinions on what you want or like doesn't matter. And I came to realize this when I would ask for an opinion of so-called friends, and they would make an opinion based off of jealousy or envy, and I never really understood why, but I learned to follow my heart and make decisions based on what I really truly felt and what I wanted. If I could go back, I would tell myself to just go for it. Stop really worrying about what others think and just make decisions based off of what you really want, and just go for it without being afraid or stressed or worrying about other people's opinions. I spent most of my 20s worrying and stressed, and there were just major shifts in my life that I felt completely overwhelmed, and I freaked out trying to get control of my life. And when we usually try to get control and we can, we panic. And I think most of us try to always have control of our lives, and when it doesn't happen, we get overly stressed and we panic. We just freak out. But what I have learned now is that worrying about trying to be perfect or trying to get control of the situation all the time is really doing nothing for you. Stressing is not good, and it really gets you nowhere. Everything eventually falls into place with the grace of God, and there is absolutely nothing to worry about. Everything is going to turn out okay in the end, and that is all I have for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a like if you did, and subscribe for more upcoming videos. Thank you so much for stopping by, and until next time, bye.